Hi everybody, and welcome back to my home office. I'm Dr. Tammy Mosier, and this video today is really going to cover our Pharmacy Leadership, Innovation, and Quality Outcomes Degree Specialization and Program. For many of you, you're coming up on the time period where you're going to be able to apply, which will be in the fall semester. And I wanted to give your class an overview of what this program is so that you can start making some decisions about what you want to do. The Pharmacy Leadership, Innovation, and Quality Outcomes Degree Specialization and the Center for Excellence in this area was developed as part of a program for Sims scholars. So Nelson Sims donated the money to help us start something in the College of Pharmacy. And when I actually was hired into the College of Pharmacy, I was asked if I would develop something to fulfill a gap in leadership training and development of that ability. And as I looked at the College of Pharmacy programs across the United States and what they had to offer, leadership was something that was covered in a variety of those programs. But one of the things that was really missing from all of them was teaching people how to develop leadership skills and not just theoretical understanding that every student in the College of Pharmacy gets during health issues, but actually taking that and morphing it into a clearer development of personal skill level. But I wanted to go beyond that and really move into some areas that would help you focus and give you a differentiator in the marketplace when you're looking for jobs, for residencies, things of that nature. So with this in mind, one of the gaps I saw in pharmacy education as a whole was the ability to actually innovate and to address quality outcomes and the measures associated. And as we know from our conversations in class and from the understanding of the field of pharmacy as a whole, and healthcare as an industry, this movement toward quality and away from fee for service is growing, and it will continue to grow. That's not going to go away. So what we need are professionals in healthcare and in every functional area of healthcare, which pharmacy is one of them, who have the skills to look at what's there, understand where things need to be, kind of that gap analysis, understand the process of innovation so that you can change what is into something that's more robust and useful, and address that through the lens of quality outcomes, quality programs, quality services. So through this program, you really get that in-depth understanding of how to approach those things, which from a career standpoint gives you a lot more options. So the students that go through this degree specialization and are accepted into it have the option to take on positions in healthcare systems as quality directors, as leaders in the industry as a whole, in directors of pharmacies for hospitals, for networks, for the big box chains. If you want to be an owner, this is an area that really can help you start digging in and understanding how to create strong services, but innovate in ways that meet your patients where they need you to be in the future, and at the same time give you the ability to lead your people effectively and develop those skill sets to do so, and then to really be able to dig down into, okay, we have these quality metrics we're being held accountable for and have a direct impact on our reimbursement rates. And I need to address those. So how do I change what we're doing to improve those outcome measures? And this program gives you the skill set to do that. And we practice it. So that kind of gives you a larger overview from kind of a bigger perspective of what this can give you. If you are interested in the dual degree MBA and this program, I have students that have done both at the same time. There is no crossover with what you learn in this program and what you're going to take in an MBA course. The curriculums are completely different. So you will not have a crossover between the two. You're going to learn different things. So then it just comes down to, what is your end goal? And do you want to do both? Now, over the course of this summer, my plan is, and I already have some appointments with past graduates from this program, to do some interviews with them so that they can kind of tell you about what the program has meant to them, what it's meant to their career. And some of them have the dual degree and the degree specialization. So they'll be able to kind of answer the questions for you on how they're different. And I'll collect some of that this summer and start posting them on this channel so that you can watch them and get that perspective as well. So how does this work? Well, I designed the program to specifically take into consideration the level of coursework you already have to deal with on a regular basis, right? So there's one class that you take during the normal semester. So in the spring semester, if you're accepted, you take the Leading Change in Pharmacy class with me. And so that class is broken up into a few different areas. The majority of it is really spent on evaluating and analyzing your current leadership skills, identifying areas you need improvement, and setting specific goals and ways to achieve those goals throughout the semester. And so this moves from the theoretical information surrounding leadership to the practical skill level in leadership. That's a 2-hour course. We meet for 2 hours and some change 1 day a week in the spring semester. This counts as one of your electives. You have 2 additional classes that you take in this program. Those are in the first summer. So it would be next summer where you would take those. And one is innovation in healthcare. And in this class, it is also really about development of a skill set and the practical, process-oriented way to innovate. Innovation often scares people because they think, I'm not innovative, I'm not creative. And they, have that connection between, if I'm not creative, I can't be innovative. Those are 2 different things. Creativity does help in innovation, but you don't have to see yourself as a creative person to be able to lead innovation efforts and to innovate yourself. What you have to understand is the process for innovation. And so we explore what that process is, different tools and techniques you can use in order to help lead a team through an innovation process so that you can look at healthcare and look at the needs in healthcare, look at how healthcare is shifting and changing, and innovate what you do to get ahead of that curve, so that your pharmacy is viable and needed and necessary and moves beyond the standard that's no longer the only thing people are looking for. So that class is a 3-hour class in the summer. Then we also have a quality outcomes class. This is a 4-hour class, and this is where, what I will say, the rubber hits the road. Now we dig into, what is quality? What are quality outcomes? How do I measure for quality? What are the metrics I can use? What are the analytical methods I can use? How do you do a research project surrounding quality and quality outcomes? How do I look at the equipped dashboard and the metrics that are being applied to retail pharmacies and understand how to adjust what we do in our pharmacy and innovate in ways that we can improve those quality outcomes metrics, which reduces the DIR fees that are being taken out of our reimbursement so that we are more profitable, so that our patients are better cared for. This is fundamentally important to the future of healthcare, to the future of pharmacy. And when you understand how to dig into quality, your career options open wide up in the field of healthcare. Now, one of the other things that you have an option for, and we're going to continue to work toward, is your ability to actually sit for the Certified Professional in Healthcare Quality National Exam. This is a certification for quality experts in healthcare. And those experts that have that certification come from all areas of healthcare. But almost every healthcare system has different people who have that certification that run the quality component for different clinics, for systems, and that also opens up your career options. And it's a fascinating area to get into, to even really just think about the mess healthcare is in, the inability to adapt or to function to the degree they need to, and how quality plays a role in that, and what focus on quality and the outcomes related to that can really improve your patient's life and overall outcomes. We also use the Institute for Healthcare Improvement's certificate program. And so by the time you're done, you will also have a certificate in basic healthcare quality and patient safety, which goes on your CV. And that becomes something that's kind of integrated into that last class so that you have that extra certification. So that would be spring and summer. Now, there's a couple advantages to this overall. The first advantage is that you're going to take that 2-hour elective, whether you're a 2.1 or a 2.2. So for 2.1s, you're getting to take that elective earlier. The other advantage for both groups is that you then will not be taking your electives in the normal semesters. You'll take the rest of those elective hours in the summer. So that actually frees up some time during the regular semester when you would have to be in classes. So for the 2.2s, this is going to free you up for your 3.1 semester. You will not have an elective during that semester unless you just want to. I have some students that still take infectious disease, and you can take the extra elective if you want to, but you don't have to. And for the 2.1s, you will not be taking an elective in your 2.2 or 3.1 semester. So you free up that time in both. So students in the past have really felt like this was an advantage because it just freed up some of your time in a normal semester. So that's one. Two, your CPD work, your professional development plan that you would be working on with Dr. Smith, you actually do that work with me. So it's integrated into our program in the leadership course, and that satisfies that element in CPD. So you won't have to be doing that in that class. It will just be with me and integrated into ours. So that also frees up some of your time and merely kind of gives you flexibility in some of the other semesters when you would normally have to be working on that with some of your colleagues. So keep that in mind. For me, what this allows us to do is really help you develop a skill set that you would not get otherwise, that's absolutely needed as a pharmacist and is difficult to really learn on the job. And so the better prepared you can be in these areas, the better off you will be professionally. Now, there's some other elements to this that you get options for when you're in the program. So in that next year, after the summer, your next year, your third year, you're going to be working on really providing some opportunities for students. So for some of you, you'll be 2.2 and 3.1, and others 3.1, 3.2 that year. So this would be starting in the fall of 2021. Time goes so fast. That year, we have a couple of different things that we do for the College of Pharmacy. The first is the Mentorship Program, which can be developed to fit your cohort's vision of what that can be. So every innovation class, you have the opportunity to redesign what that looks like and how it operates. That gets put in your hands with some guidance from me. The other area are the workshops to help students be more successful in the College of Pharmacy. And those have really changed over time too. So I have the last cohort give you kind of a report on what they did, how it worked, what they would do differently. And we take that into the innovation class as well. And so by the time the innovation class ends in the summer, you really have kind of a plan for how your cohort wants to spend the year serving the college. And so it gives you some really interesting ways to show your skills and develop them further. Now, on top of that, we've really, in terms of the Center of Excellence, have created some officer positions that the cohort right now has developed. But again, in the innovation class, you can take those titles and change them. You can change the description of them. You really can talk about at that time what you all know of each other's strengths and weaknesses and skills, and really match people up in the best possible way in those areas. And so you have a lot of flexibility. We allow you the freedom to explore how best to serve and develop. At the end of that year, so it would be May 2022 for the group I'm talking to right now, we go then to the Pharmacy Quality Alliance Conference in Baltimore. And so I take students to that conference, those of you who can come. The program pays for that. So I pay for airfare, the hotel. I take care of transportation to and from the venue. And I take care of the conference registration. So the only things students have to really cover are food and then any other spending money you might want while we're there. But Pharmacy Quality Alliance is one of the leading organizations in the United States for quality metrics related to pharmacy. Every one of the quality metrics related to medication use that insurance companies are scored on in Part D plans by Medicare were submitted by PQA to Medicare and accepted. So PQA has a big impact on how quality is measured in terms of medication use. They are currently working on testing measures to replace those that are now in the EQUIP dashboard to be more friendly for retail environments while still feeding up into those larger measures. So I find this to be a really excellent time for you to meet other quality directors, others that are PBMs that work in larger insurance companies managing the pharmacy function as a whole, and medication use as a whole, and population health measures as a whole. And that is kind of a reward for all of the work you put in over the year in serving the College of Pharmacy. Now, a couple of other benefits you can get from this or options you have available. One, I offer a rotation as one of your selectives. So students occasionally choose that because it allows us to really do some specific quality projects at different healthcare facilities or for the state. And it helps you kind of run one of those projects from beginning to end. That can also result in a report to the state, which we've had several. We've done for the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services in the state of Oklahoma. And we presented reports to them, and the students have had to go in and present their reports based on what they saw in healthcare facilities. I also worked with a group of students last year on a Pharmacy Quality Alliance project associated with opioids and CNS depressions. And we did a white paper for them, a research project into the literature to find what kind of quality metrics might be viable based on research that is in the field right now for these different combinations of opioids and CNS depressants. That white paper was accepted by PQA, and then that resulted in 3 unique posters for the 3 young ladies who were working on that project. All 3 of those posters were accepted for presentation at the national conference for PQA, and it wasn't a student division, it was a professional division. And one of them won a gold medal for their abstract, and one won the silver medal for the abstract in a professional competition. There were other professors, academics, professionals that those abstracts for those posters were in that running. And it was a blind review. So that really was a great addition to their CVs, because that resulted both in a poster, a national poster, an award, and then it also resulted in a white paper that was published. I worked with and had another student who's interested in mental health, who's on one of the articles that we've had published with a journal related to quality. And so, those research projects are available for those of you who want to dig deeper into that area or want to combine the quality and quality outcomes research with your particular focus in pharmacy or medicine as a whole. So whether that's pediatrics or it's substance abuse, mental health, those areas can be combined in a project related to quality outcomes. So that's another avenue for students that are in this program, especially if you're looking at residency. That's extremely helpful to start exploring that. The research projects don't have to be done in the program in my area, but that opportunity is available. So the process for applications. When we get into the fall semester, that is when you can apply and we do the acceptance. So our application process actually changed last year, in that in order to consistently evaluate candidates and their interviews, because I don't sit on that committee, I do not make the choices about who gets into the program. I can answer questions for you on how to prepare and what to do, but I stay removed from that process. I have a combination of faculty that you have already interacted with in a class that are in the pharmaceutical sciences area, and then I have faculty that you've never interacted with that are in pharmacy practice. And they evaluate your materials packet, which is a letter of intent, and your CV or resume, depending on what you've got developed, and then the subsequent materials that kind of go with that to support it. And those links, that whole process comes out in email, so you can follow the links, fill it out, and submit your material. The other element of it is the interview. So they look at that written packet and make a determination on who's going to get interviews. And so they score it like it's scored when you apply for a residency. So your packet, we have a very similar rubric for evaluation of your packet that is used if you apply for a residency. And then we also have a similar overview and rubric to evaluate your interview. So for the interviews, they're recorded, and then the committee watches those interviews. So every candidate's asked the exact same questions. Every candidate gets the exact same time to respond. And then that recording goes in and the committee does an evaluation of those interviews. And then the final list on who's accepted comes to me, and I send out the acceptance letters. All of that happens between mid-September and fall break. So we try to have the information to you on whether you're accepted or not before fall break. But if that doesn't work out just because of the overall semester schedule, then right after fall break, we let you know. And one of the reasons for that is because we need to let Dr. Ramos know that you need to be enrolled in the leadership class. And that includes those of you who are in 2.1 semester and normally wouldn't be taking an elective. So what you will see at the beginning of next term is about a week after school starts, I send out a email that gives you all of the information on the dates, how to apply. And I will actually, since I have the 1.2s in class right now, so I've got that entire email list, and I will send it out next semester from me to you. So it won't be coming through Leisha through a larger email. I may have it sent through her too, so that you get it in two different ways. And then I have the 1.2s that are coming in class, so I'll be able to give that directly to them. Once you get that, it'll have the specific dates that everything is due. It will have an overview of exactly how you go through the process and what's expected and how you move through that. If you're accepted for an interview, then you will get a detailed email and a video of how to actually go through that interview process. And then you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and test that before you do it for real, okay? I hope this gives you kind of a clear overview of what the program is and is focused on, how it can help you with your overall career and your goals, the options you have for research and other types of engagement through this process, and then how we're going to set up in the spring or in the fall for your interviews and application process. You are more than welcome to email me with any questions you have. I'll be happy to answer those. You can also go on the website and look down at the degree specialization in PLIQ, and it also gives you an overview of the program. One of the differences there is that we have changed the structure of the classes a little bit, and that they're not spread out over 2 summers. We're doing it all in 1 summer, which gives you an option for financial aid. That's one of the reasons we did that. And it also frees up then the next summer. Now, one thing I did forget. So what are the schedules for the classes in the summer? So I approach this in a little bit of a different way because most of you work. You're going to be doing IPPEs. You're going to have a lot of different things you want to do. You don't necessarily want to have to stay in Weatherford for a class, but the classes actually have a lot of hands-on interactive activities. They're almost like labs in a way. So you get to really practice these skills. This is not a lecture all day kind of thing. So innovation is 2 weekends, 2 Saturdays and Sundays, and all day, right? So you come in on a Saturday morning, we spend all day Saturday. You come back in on Sunday morning, we spend all day Sunday. We have 2 weekends like that. That's your 3 hours. They are not all lecture. You get some lectures, we watch videos, you do live activities. And in the innovation class, all the work is contained in that class period. So you're not taking home homework in that class. That's a little bit different. And there is some pre-work. It's a little bit different when we get over into the quality outcomes class. It is also 2 weekends, but Fridays are considered part of those weekends. So the very first 3-day weekend, we come in for part of Friday. And that is so that I can give you the information for the larger project you're going to be doing, give you an overview, the tools you need. We can start talking through what it's going to take and what you're going to do. And then it gives you some time to go away and think and process. Then on Saturday and Sunday, we're back to the same schedule. And we do that 2 weekends. Now, the second weekend, you don't have to come in on Friday at all. But there is some work. This is the class, remember, that you're finishing that basic certificate in quality outcomes and patient safety with the Institute for Healthcare Improvement. So I set aside that Friday to start working through that work. So quality outcomes has more work associated with it. It's the heavier class. It's a 4-hour class. And this is where we really start putting all these pieces together. So those are how the summer is structured. So 4 weekends over the summer, you're in class. But that leaves your week free to work, to travel, to work with each other. And I gather some information from you in the leadership class before I set that schedule. So you don't have control over it, and I can't accommodate everything, but I try to eliminate some of the challenges we might run into there in terms of, different types of things you can't adjust. Email me if you have any questions about this. I really enjoy working with the students in this program. We only accept 10 a year. So this is also kind of a specialized program not everybody can do. It's really designed to help students move past maybe the static career goals you have right now and really open up a lot of new options. Even when applying for residency, it opens up options. And we keep the number low, not just for differentiation, but so we can have that more one-on-one kind of engagement as we go through this process. And I really have an opportunity to engage with each individual student on your plans and your goals and what you want to do and how to tailor some of the things we're looking at to fit you. This is not just for those with 4.0s. While the way this is structured, it's not structured so that it's going to compete with your need to focus on your other core coursework, which is unlike the MBA. The MBA, you're taking those courses while you're going through your regular classes in the College of Pharmacy, and they're work intensive. And so, if you're struggling in the College of Pharmacy, I wouldn't recommend the MBA. And struggle is a real kind of broad term. But this program's not designed where it competes with your need to focus on your College of Pharmacy. Where it comes into play is the year that you need to provide service, but we design that service and what it looks like. So while I expect a high level of engagement, both for the development of your skill set, but also because it really is how you're rewarded with that PQA trip through the work that you really engage in here. And it helps really, put more on your CV. It is not going to be something that makes it detrimental for your ability to get through the normal College of Pharmacy work. Some of you are going to be really suited to this program and can really see how it would fit your future. And what I ask for students that apply to this program and what your letter of intent and part of your interview is focused on is, why do you want to do this? What is it about the leadership or the innovation or the quality outcomes, two or all three of them combined, that really connects with you and that you find important and interesting? I want people who are curious about these areas and really want to explore to the largest degree of what they could be when they get out and what kind of options could be available to them. And that's who this program's really developed for. So think about that when you're looking at, do I apply or do I not apply? It's not just something to add to your resume or your CV. It is also something that I really want you to be curious about and interested in as a mechanism to explore and develop and grow as a young professional. Email me if you have questions. And if I left anything out, let me know, and I'll be happy to address that. Be watching for the email in the fall, the beginning of the fall, for the application process. And then if you'll subscribe to this channel, when I finish the interviews with different students throughout the summer, I'll edit them and I'll post them on this channel so that you can go in and watch them. If you subscribe to the channel, then you'll get an alert when a new video comes out and you won't miss one. Listen, end the semester strong. You've done so well. I know this has been so challenging. Stay safe this summer. Let me know if you need anything, and finish the semester strong. Bye.